Greetings, this is some 8mm film that I digitized of my dad's vacations. That's my aunt there, Aunt Katie, Uncle Donald, and my mom going into their bar, the Tender Trap.
Those sighs, they're part of the Tender Trap.
They bought this bar around 1980, and this bar was where the movie The Twilight Zone was filmed in, and Vic Morrow, who was the principal actor in this episode, he died during the filming of this movie when a helicopter fell on top of him. Here's my dad. He's getting ready to do his daily constitutional at Lake Michigan there. Here's Mom in Tampa, Florida, where they were vacationing. That car is a 1974 Newport that my dad sold to a friend of mine. He ended up committing suicide in his car. He parked it in the garage and turned it on. He was suffering from back pain at the time, and my dad said he didn't sell him a car. He ended up selling him a coffin. This is a nice house that my folks would stay at every once in a while in Florida, owned by Don Zimmerman, who owned Don Zimmerman Construction Kings. They didn't have a boat, but they did get some fishing in on occasion. And on the way back, this is some tractors that they passed during a protest.
Farm organization leaders were briefed in Washington. This was during the weekend following President Carter's announcement of an embargo on American grain shipments to Russia.
Yeah, they were protesting President Carter's embargo of grain to Europe, so about 20,000 of these tractors went to Washington. And here's my sister and my brother-in-law and my nieces getting ready to visit the folks on Thomas Drive during Christmas. His brother-in-law, Bob. And here I am getting chased by wolves in Cody, Wyoming, trying to check out the view. Well, the wolves didn't get me, so we ended up going swimming. This is our motel pool. Here's Aunt Katie from Los Angeles. She came up to visit us while we were in Wyoming, and Aunt Katie was quite a character. She liked her Grey Goose martinis and liked to gamble a lot. They ended up moving to Henderson, Nevada, where they ended up depositing most of their money in the One-Armed Bandits. There's my mom and Aunt Katie. Hi, Aunt Katie. Dad was quite an athlete. There he is, and I in the pool. He was a good golfer. Liked to play slow pitch baseball, and in high school was a very good basketball player for North Division. Here he is playing for the U.S. Navy. They had a really good team and won a lot of tournaments for the Navy. Here's a clipping of him making All-City, and if they still had it, he probably would have made All-State. He got a scholarship at Wisconsin, but ended up in the Navy, where he was ordnance technician. There's me trying to swim and do my best impression of Mark Spitz. Here's Dad. He's going to give us a jackknife dive here. And like father, like son, I'm going to do my favorite crazy man dive. Spectacular. Grandma and Mom are in the hotel room, and they're chewing the fat with Uncle Donald there. Hi, Don. How are you? And this camera's got a real bright light bar on it, and so here's Aunt Katie. She's cussing out Dad because of the bright lights, and so they went into the bedroom and tried to wake Grandpa up with the bright lights and trying to have a good sport at his expense. This was a Revere 8mm camera with the light bar, and when you had that light bar with all four bulbs in it, it was very bright, but you needed it to expose the film properly. And there's our Bell and Howell projector that Dad would set up on occasion, along with the daylight screen. And during the holidays, we'd have to watch our films. And then here's a cartridge that would go in there, just pop it in, 50 feet of cartridges. And here's, he ended up with about 5,300 feet of film from all of his exploits that we ended up putting in on video. This is what the projector actually sounds like when it's set up. Here's a comparison between Super 8, which replaced 8mm film. And here's Grandpa again trying to get some shut-eye. She's getting a big kick out of it. And she came over after Grandpa did in the late 20s. There's my Aunt Maggie, my Aunt Katie. All three of them had to get naturalized. And we always thought Grandma looked like Vince Lombardi. Here they are getting ready for the Badlands. From there, they went to Rushmore Memorial. And here I am getting in the way, and the guy behind me's got my shirt on. So after Rushmore, we went to the mud pits, where I thought I'd get a better view of the mud. And then to Sequoia Park, where we can drive your car through a tree. That's Mom driving a 1966 Chrysler 300. And I ended up with that car, very nice car. But this tree didn't survive, and I think they ended up, it had ended up burning down, or they turned it into tables. Yellowstone Lodge, where people would wait outside to watch the Old Faithful geyser, which would promptly go off every 62 minutes. Here's Uncle Don. He's coming back from the sites there. He was in the Army, and he was a very good boxer. He was the middleweight champ for most of the theaters. I don't think he saw much fighting action, but I knew he was in the Army. Here's Grandpa Kaiser, my dad, Uncle Buster, and Donald Gerber. Uncle Buster married Aunt Maggie, and this was probably 1940 on 24th and Walnut. Here's Grandpa. He came over and worked at Siemens Auto Body for a while, and he used to do his own butchering and winemaking. There he is, looking sharp in his double-breasted suit with Aunt Maggie, my dad, and Grandma. Here's Mom outside Grauman's Chinese Theater in Los Angeles, where the actors and actresses would go to put their handprints in cement. This is where Singing in the Rain was filmed in the beginning of the movie there. And here's a concrete representation of Shirley Temple's effort. She was quite a little actress in the 1930s. She was the highest paid actress, and married John Agar at 17, ended up divorcing him and became Shirley Temple Black later on, and was gotten involved with politics. Here's Dad on top of Palm Springs Mountain, and we're getting ready to wrap this up here. And here's Aunt Katie again, Uncle Donald, and my mom. And I want to thank you for your attention for our little film here.